Celebrating their first new album in 6 years, ahead of a sold-out show tonight in the Ulster Hall. Snow Patrol's Gary Lightbody.
Gary Lightbody, what an exciting time for you and, of course, your band, Snow Patrol. First new album in 6 years, The Forest is the Path. And it is an album rooted in reflection, introspection, looking at love from a distance. It's very, very deep stuff. If we were to unpack things a little bit for people that are, the album's out today, for people that are just going to be listening to it for the first time, how would you describe the concept of this album? What were the building blocks that went into it when you were writing it?
The quote is love from the distance of time, just to be absolutely clear about that. Not love from a distance.
Oh, yeah, two very different things.
Very much so. But doesn't tell the story of it at all, really. It's more, sure, I have been in a relationship in a long time, so that's the only real way that I can look at love from the distance of time. But that's not the main theme of this record. I think time itself is the main theme of this record. The vagaries and inconsistencies of time, that time is not linear to any individual human because it speeds up and slows down at the beat of our hearts. When we're in love or in pain or in grief or in despair or in joy, it speeds up and slows down. And I think that sort of time crunching and expanding is what this record is more about. Everything happening at once and nothing happening at all. I read a book by Carlo Rovelli called The Order of Time as I was writing the record, and he postulates that that all time, past, present, and future is happening right now in this moment, all at once. And I love that idea because, just like a lot of people, especially over the last few years, lost a lot of loved ones. I lost my father, and I see him everywhere still, and that to me sort of exemplifies that very thought that he is actually existing, even if it's just in my peripheral vision. He's in there somewhere.
Yeah, it's really good statement if you've put that into the music. Whenever you say that, you do just sort of think of your own life and how that would work and your memories and your past and present and future.
Yeah, I like the idea that because there's the time is sort of strewn through this record. It's like the strawberry strands in a raspberry strands in a raspberry ripple ice cream. It's sort of it's the streaks through our life. Sometimes the things that repeat for us, and we can't make something that you miss repeat, but sometimes the universe gives you it anyway, which I appreciate. We all have memories we'd like to forget, but we also have memories that we would love to relive again and again.
Another thing you always go back to, Gary, is obviously your roots in Bangor. And we know that you're doing this launch in Bending Sounds. So you're very loyal, to those roots. So what keeps you, rooted to the music scene back in Bangor?
It's just my favorite place on planet Earth. It just is. I've been around a lot of other places in the world. I've been very lucky, very, very lucky. And, I've had a place in Bangor for about 20 years, but I've been hither and yon mostly. But in the last few years, I've been there solidly. And walking the coastal path from my house in the Bangor or up towards Belfast, or walking in the forest beside my house, or swimming in Belfast Loch every day. These are the things that ground me. And seeing family, being close to my mum lives in the next building to my building, and my sister and niece live next door to me. So I spent a lot more time with family than I have in a long time because we spent so much of our lives on tour. So people wonder why sometimes an album for Snow Patrol takes 6 years to make, but some of that is just living our lives and getting the chance to live our lives and see our friends and family. We don't want our entire lives to be touring. Again, but we also understand that it is a very honored position to be able to go on tour everywhere in the world. So we don't want to mess too much with that good luck, you know. So we will be back out next year on tour all around the world, but we also needed to take a little bit of downtime and catch up with our loved ones.
Yeah, well, it's well deserved, and it's, as Amy said, it's such a cool thing to do with the record shops. I remember maybe it was last year when Dermot Kennedy made an appearance at Bending Sounds as well, and it means so much to fans, and it means so much obviously to the record shop and independent record stores, because they're few and far between in a world of streaming and people just wanting to consume things so fast. It's such a nice thing to do.
The simple pleasure of holding a new record in your hand is not to be underestimated. It really is a powerful thing, because whether you're a musician or not, you know that something is going into this. You might not know exactly what's going into it, but you know something is going into this. There's been heart and soul and blood and sweat and tears and all the rest, put onto this record. And it's very hard to feel that. And I'm by no means a Luddite, like living in modernity, as much as anyone else. But you can't feel that connection to streaming. But you can feel the music and feel the song, or listen to the song and feel passionate about the music. But what you don't get is a kind of a tactile experience where you can feel like
you own something. Yeah,
you're interacting with something in 3D.
And what's special about this too, not just the music, but all the artwork for this album. You have painted all the artwork yourself, so that's an extra layer of getting that physical thing in your hands, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm no painter. It's a hobby, but it's really, I find it really fun and meditative, and it's it wouldn't have been the album cover if Johnny and Nathan hadn't have liked it. You know what I mean? It's like I wasn't like, I'm going to paint the album cover. It's like, no, it's like, here are some paintings I did. I don't know if any of these might work. And everybody seems to focus in on the heart picture that ended up being the album cover, which I, at the time, had no intention of, making it that. I was just painting for fun.
Yeah, it's like more extra creativity and a little bit more from you. So it's cool for fans to know that, and to know that you put that wee extra bit into it. I know you sort of touched on it there, like getting back to touring, but are you excited to sort of see people's faces and get like a live reaction from fans of all the new material?
Yeah, it's going to be fun. We've already played festivals over the course of the summer. So we have played, 2 of the new songs. Most of those shows have been when at least one of them wasn't out yet. All has just come out recently, but we were playing that one through the summer too. So it was seeing someone's first reaction to a song where they hadn't heard it before, and it went down very well. And as did the beginning, but obviously that was getting a little bit of radio support. So it's it's really encouraging that those songs may fit quite seamlessly into the set. It's always a little bit of a worry when you're trying to add new songs in, because I've said this before, but you don't want people coming to the shows that have, you don't have to do any prep.
Yeah.
Come to the shows. You want them to come to the show. They paid the money, so therefore they shouldn't have to do anything to enjoy the show. But you also, as a band, as an artist, you want to add in some new songs and try and find the balance. Is 5 too many? Is 2 too few? Is 3 or 4 the magic number? So you're trying to figure out a way of getting new songs in without it becoming a kind of a chore for people. We don't want that.
Well, I think you've said it the way that it'll fit, because this album in parts, it sounds so hopeful and big and anthemic, and there's big drums and guitars and everything that you can imagine will sound fantastic live. And then there's parts in it where even I've been a fan of Snow Patrol for so long, where I haven't heard you as vulnerable. I can't think of you being as vulnerable in tracks like These Lies, and it's all about you hear your voice in it, you hear the raw emotion. So it sounds like Snow Patrol of old in a lot of parts, but also like this next evolution. It's a weird blend of the two together at the same time, and a new beginning. Beginning obviously the first track that you shared. As the name suggests, does this feel like a new beginning for the band?
Yes, and thank you for saying I'm glad, and thank you for listening to the album the way you've clearly done. I appreciate that very much. The one thing we did was to sort of take off the guardrails, which I had put on us over the years, which is no more anthemic songs. So people will notice, people will sort of notice, from 100 Million Suns and Fallen Empires and Wildness for sure, which was very introspective, that those anthemic things from Final Straw and Eyes Open were kind of absent, because I didn't want to. I was so afraid of repeating ourselves, and I realized, we all came to this realization that that's limiting ourselves. It just is. We're not going to release a new Chasing Cars or a new Run. Obviously, we're not going to do that. We're not going to directly repeat ourselves, but it would be ridiculous to spend the rest of our lives afraid of making a big sounding song that was just, emotional from the heart, and everything that we do is honest, and it comes from a place of instinct and spontaneity. There's no planning at all in any of our songs. If we were like meticulous and sort of pointedly trying to find a particular type of song, then that would be against our mission, which is to make spontaneous music. But if we do something spontaneous and it happens to sound anthemic, don't scrap it. So we try to do this time. So we just first half of the record is big sounding, massive sounding songs, and it does feel very liberating and you're talking about the connection to our past, and I'm very glad that you also see a progression too. I feel like they're both progressions of sorts, in that they're a progression of mindset. Sure. Because I'm not afraid to, we collectively, and me, Johnny and Nathan are collectively not afraid to just be whatever it is that the song deserves to be or wants to be. I think that's important.
Oh, absolutely beautiful stuff. This has been a brilliant chat. I was really excited to get talking to you about this album. Very quickly, I know you're a busy man today, talking about this weekend. Obviously, the album's out last night, Bangor last night from midnight at Bending Sounds. We look forward to Into the Ulster Hall this evening. That's going to be a beautiful, intimate gig. An album launch on the day of the album in Belfast in the iconic Ulster Hall, which of course you have played many, many times. It means a lot to the band, that place. I know that it does. I'm sure you're itching for that.
Yeah, can't wait. Anytime we get to play the Ulster Hall is a joy.
Yeah, it's my favourite venue ever. I love it.
We always talk about the Ulster Hall on the show, just that there's something special about it.
There is.
And there
really is. There's something in the atoms of the place that makes for special gigs.
Yeah, it's magic. And then obviously, a little sold out acoustic set tomorrow at HMV in Belfast. Which again, if you're going to get to any of these gigs, it's going to be amazing. And let's not forget about the main tour shows next year. A couple of dates there in the SSE in Belfast. Of course, both sold out as we would expect. And who knows what will happen after that? I'm sure there's going to be a few more gigs and more chances to get along to see Snow Patrol in the not too distant future.
Yes, we'll be definitely announcing another Northern Irish show next year, at least one. We don't know where that's going to be yet, but it'll be somewhere.
Gary Lightbody, an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Brilliant.
much.
Thank you both. Take care, and thank you so much. It was a great chat.